that, what is her interest in this? And, so I think that, I'm still not saying that.
So you think corporates can actually influence ministerial birds?
I'm still saying nothing. Nothing that I've heard on those tapes suggests that any of the journalists are wittingly or knowingly playing this kind of game as per what Ms. Raria wants. But it suggests a certain, there's a proximity, there is a give and take of information.
The line of lobbying,
which creates.
But the question is, I'm going to have to stand up for the journalist end of it. Often a working journalist is working to time. He's working on a story. He's talking to whoever he can. He wants to get a source on the line. He's talking to people. So should but judge a journalist by his actions, by what he does.
Right, 1 minute. But a journalist also has to maintain a healthy arm's length distance from the lobbyist or the PR professional like Dilip. It's his job to spin facts to favor his client. But a journalist also has to not just verify facts, but also get a range of opinion. That's his job. If he is honest, if he's sincere, if he has to present his reader, his viewer, a range of opinion. 1 minute. Is your job also to assist that lobbyist? And what's the difference? They're corporate lobbyists the world over.
You may be telling that lobbyist you're assisting him, you may not be.
That's a separate story.
That may be just your conversation with the journalist, with the lobbyist.
They've insisted
that they haven't passed on information. They did not do what they said they were doing.
Beyond the realm of plausible that you often make promises in such a fluid situation to put the other party in a certain zone of comfort. Exactly.
To get the information. But let's get Suhel Satan. Suhel said, do corporates try and lobby journalists and politicians, and do they sometimes in the process cross the line? I mean, can corporates actually influence ministerial berths?
Look, I'm a very great believer that all corporates do try and lobby, because sadly this is not a country which is built on meritocracies. If it were, you wouldn't have this problem. Having said that, there are three broad issues. One is, does lobbying include sleaze? If it does, that needs to be eliminated, and the people doing it that need to be exterminated. B, does corporate lobbying influence national good to the wrong end? In other words, if I lobby and I actually cause a loss to the national exchequer, or if I try and tweak national good, then I need to be punished. C, corporate lobbying has happened for years. I mean, you think this government has never had suitcases offered? Why this other governments? Do you forget that there was a very famous stockbroker who went with 1 crore in a suitcase to Narasimha Rao? I mean, who are we fooling? You know what the tragedy, Sagarika, is? That now it's very easy to define PR agents as agents of Lucifer. The reality is we've forgotten our own history. The same very Congress party should go back to the license Raj. What was the license Raj all about? What did Indira Gandhi engender? I mean, for God's sake, let's stop being childish and squeamish about silly issues. I have a very firm view which I've said on your channel time and again. If A. Raja is corrupt, he needs to be hanged. If someone has abetted and aided A. Raja and caused loss to the national exchequer, he or she should be hanged.
One point. I want to support Suhel. I don't always agree with what he says, but on this point I totally agree with him. Don't get easily diverted. What's the issue? The issue is that the national exchequer has lost a huge amount of money because of the manner in which telecom licenses with spectrum were undervalued. You may not agree with the amount involved, but let's not deny the fact. The question, who knew about it? How was this whole process facilitated? If you knew about it and you facilitated the process, then surely you are constructively guilty.
And there is no guilt as far as the corporate lobbyist is concerned, because it is their job to push for a change in government policy.